My name is Rhapsody, and welcome back to Monster Train 2. Let's hit this button 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, and go. Awoken Pireborn. I will have a look at this just for a little bit to make sure that I have an MT2 clan in there, because I've had a lot of double MT1 clans recently, and at least until we get the Lost Arsenal update, those do feel a little lacking because they don't have, you know, specific rooms, specific equipment, things like that. Oh, wow. 2 copies of Alchemy in the base deck, always happy to see that. 3 Ember to consume, gain 2 Dragon's Hoard. 2 copies of Sharpen in here as well, 2 Ember to apply 4 damage and 5 spikes to a unit. There's an Awoken Hollow, 1 Ember 3 size on summon, gains 30 max... Is there 30? 60 max health. And on Rejuvenate, which is a trigger on heal, Cultivate 3, and Cultivate increases the health and damage of the lowest health unit on the floor by Cultivate. Pyre of Entropy means we are going to have to find a way to focus on getting a lot of energy, because our draw is already accounted for. Add a Vengeful Shard to your deck after each battle, and draw an additional card for every 2 blights in your deck. By the time you get to the end, you are just drawing 10 cards a turn. Granted, 5 of them are blights. Significantly less than that, to be fair. Like, average end deck size is like 35 cards. You end up adding like 8 more shards, so you end up with 10 in the deck. So it ends up being around 25% of the deck, maybe a third of the deck. Seraphiturnus, Chosen of Savagery, is going to be attacking our backline with those Rage Wings, so I'm going to have to find a way to take care of them first. Ooh, Sentient. Interesting. Let's get to it. Anything to help me cost my expensive spells right now will be useful. Equipped units gain armor 10, or regen restores an additional health per stack. I'm going to take regen restores an additional health per stack. We've got the restores in the base deck, so we've already got a way to utilize it. Yeah. Yeah, I was wondering if I did that. Cultivating. On Revenge, so when struck, cultivate 2. And on just default, draw an additional card each turn. How many of the Awoken lines have I taken in MT2, actually? Let's check this quickly. I've only taken the Bristling Path. I've only gone for spikes. I mean, admittedly, that would be quite useful here, but I can give, you know, 1 usage of the Sharpen spell is enough spikes to take out every Rage Wing that ever hits the bottom line. Except for the chosen Rage Wings. Let's say Cultivating and work on it. Merchant of Steel with an Awoken banner next to it. Merchant of Magic with a Pireborn. Great. I do like getting a variety pack here so that I can look at an Awoken and a Pireborn unit. We're definitely going to have 2 line leads. Both Awoken Hollow and Sentient want to lead their own lines. So getting a backline unit for each of them is really important. Start a battle. Enemy units appear on each floor. I can do that. Bloated Whelps will be exceptional. Getting a single copy of Sharpen will be good enough as well. Yeah, we've probably got that. Yeah, there we go. I'm going to use Sharpen on the top line instead of playing the Bloated Whelp there. Just because it allows me to get all of the Cultivate triggers still, which is going to give some damage to the Sentient. Here, I could do Restore. But I think I'll go with the Bloated Whelp Explosion. Oh, actually no, because I want to get those Cultivate triggers on the next floor again. So I'll go Sharpen and then the Restore trigger here. Especially because not only does restore health, it applies regen, which then causes another Cultivate trigger afterwards. So that was 4 health, 2 additional health from regen because it gets doubled, and 6 from Cultivate. which means instead of avoiding 15 damage by playing a bloated whelp, I avoided 10 damage and got to restore instead. That's so much better. Really important here that I get an alchemy out because I can't guarantee that I will get to play all of them. I will take the 4 damage the Fallen Champion is going to do to me on the top line. Just to play that alchemy. Yeah, our top line is going to have absolutely no problem. Let's get a Spear Steward behind you as well. Someone to start cultivating. And then build up your regen a little bit. Oh, yeah. That went pretty well. Ooh. Wildwood Sap. Consume to apply regen 5. Obviously, a little bit better right now with Bloating Fungus in the deck. I will say Restoration Detonation does... Restores 15 health to a friendly unit, deals damage equal to 5 times the amount healed to the front enemy unit. Really good when you have an Awoken Hollow, or I guess any of the Hollows, because they are well set up to immediately receive this, as well as do a bunch of damage with it. I do need like a couple of spells that will just have a large healing number on them. Let's take Restoration. Ooh. Another alchemy. I do really like causing full Dragon Hoard as soon as I can. And I'm going to an Awoken banner first, with the Merchant of Steel next to it. I'm doing it. Greed. We save this. I'll only loot it when it gets to 8 in the next round. Oh, Merchant of Steel with Multi-Strike and Smidgestone. Animus of Will. Already has Multi-Strike 2. Huge fan of that. And there's also a Husk Hermit. Ooh, this is actually a little difficult. Husk Hermit with Quick is a really good way to take care of Rage Wings and all of those kinds of things before they become too much of an issue. And I would be able to give you Multi-Strike. You'd be a really good unit to just sit behind Sentient. Animus of Will, however, does triple damage with that Multi-Strike. I'm going to take the Animus of Will. Avarice 3. So I paid 25 right now for the Animus of Will. No. You having Quick would be really good. I could also just give you another Multi-Strike or damage right now. Smidgestone definitely goes on Awoken Hollow. I just don't know if I need to buff Animus of Will this way. Avarice 3 on a Bloated Whelp. All I need is that Bloated Whelp to kill 8. Well, not kill, but damage 8 units, which will take like a couple of battles to do. Animus of Will gets 12 gold for me a turn off of Avarice. But also it's worth noting that as Pyreborn, very often you get to the point where money doesn't matter anymore. You've surpassed the economy. I'll hold on. I think I'm going to want that upgrade slot for something else later. Enemy unit set Titan Skin 1, completely fine by me. We'll be setting up low this time. Alchemy. Unfortunately, sharpening the sentient here actually buffs the enemies. I'm gonna have to wait for one of the alchemies to come back around, but we'll have enough time for that. Bloated Well explodes, taking out the collector. I'm gonna get some scaling set up for the top line because that Sloven Knight's gonna need to take some additional damage, otherwise it's gonna deal 20 to me. Just gonna quickly confirm this. Yeah, I don't have a way of taking out the Sloven Knight on the top line. So it will be dealing at least 10 damage to me. Shocks. Heck, oh gosh, and dang. I do need to play one more alchemy before we get through this deck. Can I rely on my top line to win? If I have to play an alchemy next turn as well. I think so. Oh, there was only one health remaining. Obviously, Restoration Detonation would have done incredible work on that top line as well, but down there it was worth a lot of the health of Erebor. Perfect. Okay, Sloven Knight does go down. So I just need to... Oh, God. Greed! Just need health. Just need health. Alright. Let's try the spikes. See if that does it. Oh, God. Maybe I have to play not the absolute greediest line of all time. I'm going to restart this battle rather than just nuke the run here. Ugh, I hate not having to be greedy. Well, actually... Hold up. The answer was in front of me the entire time. You get another unit on that field. Sharpen will help me push a lot more damage on Sloven Knight here. Yeah, this should have been the line the entire time. What's the Smidgestone for if not putting the Awoken Hollow on the same field? Definitely going to need some additional healing on this bottom line. There's always something else that needs to be played alongside Alchemy as well. Like Restoration Detonation this turn wants to be played so badly. Interesting. This almost kills Elabor on the bottom line. You'll have 50 health remaining, which does mean I may even have to send you all the way up to the pyre. Oh wow, had 4 at the very end of that. However, this does give me the ability to finish my alchemy. And a single sharpen gets us across the line. We still get out of it with the full Hoard. Yeah. That was a daft mistake. Glimmer. A little bit of reach there as well. Restores 3 health to friendly units and deals 3 damage to enemy units. Good for a little bit of AoE damage to enemies as well as triggering the Rejuvenate on Awoken Hollow as well as healing the front line, which is probably going to be the Sentient because of that Revenge trigger. Razor Sharp Edge, however, is a lot of damage for an Animus of Will. It adds 40 damage to it on single cast. I can't turn that down right now. It's way too much. I don't know if I'm supposed to do that. I'll take a Fireball. Almost could have gotten me to take another Alchemy there, because then I could have played all of them in the next battle. Really unrealistic, to be fair. Let's loot out 8 here. When you equip a friendly unit, gain conjure 4 on them. After using an ability, friendly units gain armor 3. I mean, that's bloated whelps, just giving additional health to units. When an enemy unit descends, gain fire gel 2. I just think that's in general a lot better here. Plan card drafts only offer rares. Awoken obviously has a lot of really good rares. Fireborn has a lot of really bad ones. I'm going to deal 3 piercing damage to an enemy unit when it moves between floors, as well as having Flaming Talons when they ascend, which is moving between floors. They gain Pyogel 2. I don't know which order those trigger in. Does it give them Pyogel 2 and then they take 3 piercing damage, which is 5 piercing damage courtesy of the Pyogel? That means, if that were the case, on the bottom line, Rage Wings would just die. Definitely going the Fireborn and Merchant of Magic here. Remove Consume, -2 cost. Goes on an Alchemy. I could easily hold over a Fireball for quite good effects, but I think holdover Restoration Detonation is also going to be really good. Hell, I'll even give it +15, +10 magic power, rather. It's an incredible shot. Hey, nice. Guildmonger, on Extinguish, gain 1 Dragon Horde. Just having a jump unit to throw on the floor sounds good to me. Oh wow, Celestial Archive immediately after that, with the ability to give Worthy Sacrifice, Many Lives, or Fecundity to a unit, and possibly all three? Alright, Guildmonger, you are getting Worthy Sacrifice, and we'll see if I give you Many Lives or Fecundity. I definitely need the additional Ember right now. That's definitely my priority. Well, that's quite a good setup. Now, do I just summon Guildmonger on the bottom? Well, I guess Archeon's gonna fly around and end up killing it. However, yeah. Here, the Savage Spearman and Ominous Acolyte are going to die before they get to the next floor, so I don't even have to worry about their attacks. I'm going to have Guildmonger self-sacrifice on the bottom line, giving me 3 Ember so I can play Alchemy and Alchemy. Yeah, they all took 5 damage. So the Pyogel came first, and then they took the damage. That was incredible. Maintaining my Pyre health is really important. So that and Vengeful Shard. Ooh, I do want to burn Calcified Embers as well. Dragon's Hoard is almost up to 8. Yeah, I'll just play 1 more Alchemy. Now that's solved. That Shield Bearer is getting to the top line and striking us no matter what. But if I put a Steward on the top line, at least I'll deal damage to the Fallen Champion in the next round as well. Hell yeah. Restoration Detonation! Although that should probably be on Sentient. Leaving 4 Vengeful Shards in hand at end of turn. It hurts. It hurts. But I need to make sure I win the fight. Unfortunately, you're not knocking these units back anymore. Well. That is an unfortunate ordering of my units. Good detonation damage. Nice. Oh! Archeon ascends to the pyre and then dies to the jack strips as a result. Oh. Oh, by the skin of our teeth. Unleash the Wildwood, restore friendly units to full health. I do like having a single copy of that in a deck where I've got an Awoken Hollow, and I do know that every single time I see that for the first time in a run, that's exactly what I say. Devilish of Tales. I don't need you, buddy. I've got enough. I'll take it. Miser, Animus of Speed, and Thorned Hollow. I would be amazed if I was capable of justifying anything except for an energy relic right here, so... what else wants to go alongside that? Because I'm not getting capacity. A Thorned Hollow to stand out on your own floor? I guess. Increase max by 2, really important to take as soon as it comes up. When you draw any non-champion card, its cost is randomized between 0 and 3. That's really good for a lot of my deck. It's also additional draw, and that's usually a huge, powerful thing in the Volatile Gauge. However, I will get to draw 10 cards a turn without taking this. Starter cards cost -1. I think way more important here. So much more energy. And what I've constantly been arguing is I need energy in this deck right now. Yeah, an Awoken Banner and a Merchant of Steel here is a really good way for me to capitalize on another flaw that the Thorned Hollow is currently creating the opportunity for. Titanite. Endless. Endless, the ability-worthy sacrifice Guildmonger. I can give you many lives as well, but then I can't give you Fecundity, because if I give you Fecundity, you would, well, it would be good. My whole deck would be Guildmongers. I mean, Awoken Hollow kinda wants that Titanite, but at the same time, kinda doesn't. Thorned Hollow being on its own floor definitely does. Lost 10, lost 3. I guess I throw that on Thorned Hollow just so that it has some spikes to start with. I don't think plus 20 health on a single unit's really that relevant to me. Should have looked at the Awoken unit before I did any of that. Oops. Would this have changed any of my decisions? I suspect not. Yeah, Endless and Titanite still would have gone on the same units. Husk Hermit, I think I take you now for the possibility of getting you quick, but it is worth noting, I've already got the Rage Wings down. I can forfeit the bottom line and allow all of the Rage Wings to die there. The only one I have to worry about is the Chosen Rage Wing with 50 health that will survive. Yeah, because the damage is piercing, so it's done under the Titan skin they can even have. More health. Revenge Cultivate 3. Yes, please. Save my money here so I can go for a Merchant Trinkets with another Awoken Banner? I don't know about that. Non-boss enemy units are gonna try and restore health when they move up a floor. I'm gonna try and not let them move up that floor. So they're gonna have wretches on the bottom line. Oh wow, I'm setting up full top, I think. Oh. When did I get the Guildmonger? There? I've immediately screwed the Guildmongers event. I was supposed to go left in the previous area. Oh, wait, this wanted me to go left, left, right? So that would have been left, left, right, Merchant of Arms at the ends. I don't know, it might have been better off not to go for it. This dude is just an energy pump every turn now. That's fine. What's wrong with that? Thanks for the energy. And then all of these bloated whelps. I do just kind of play them out. Gotta play out Alchemy, gotta play out one of the Calcified Embers. I think I'd like to get a Holy Pyre Stone on something, just so that I can heal my Pyre a little. I'd hate for that to just whittle away all of our health over time. Welcome back, Guildmonger. Goodbye, Guildmonger. Restoration, Detonation, and Restore. Just full health heal to midline, though. And we still have enough energy to play both of the shards. Oh no, I don't even have space to play my Guildmonger now. Whoops. I'm gonna Fireball my own unit so that I can play the Guildmonger and then explode the Guildmonger. And then Alchemy. Gotta spend money to make money. I also just want to keep the Guildmonger atop my deck. Perfect. And we've already maxed out the Dragon's Hoard. Thanks, Guildmonger. Oh, that's so good. All of those misshapen fiends are just going to explode before they do anything to us. Although they do explode on the next floor, so they give corruption there, which is why I wanted to set up my permanent floor on the top line. Okay, so we get both of the enemy frontline units down here. Mounted Core on the Judge remains. However, yeah. You aren't growing stronger at all as you're ascending. Razor Sharp Edge is doing some decent work. It's responsible for a lot of that Animus's damage right now. Engraft is a good way to just trigger Rejuvenate, as well as possibly get an energy pump. All you do is lower its cost by 1. Fanning the Flame. Deal 3 damage to a random enemy unit. On Slay, increase damage by 3 permanently. This is pretty early to get that spell. Sacrificial Chamber is obviously a lot more money. But, again, money is going to become irrelevant really soon. I'm going to take Fanning the Flame. Though I do have it gilded, I've never really gotten to use it effectively. Spells gain +3 damage for each upgrade on their card. That's... no, only damage, so the Restoration Detonation wouldn't be affected. That's garbage for us so far, but it will become good when Fanning the Flames gets a couple upgrades. When a unit gains Pygel, gains an additional stack. That'll modify the Flaming Talons as well. Expanded Coffers, increase max Dragon Hoard by 3. We're going full greed. I'm gonna get all the boss relics, all of them. Definitely have to hit up another Merchant of Trinkets now. Apply Pygel 10 to non-flying boss enemy units. Non-flying boss. or non-flying boss enemy units. Does it trigger on every unit that's not a flying boss, or does it trigger on every boss unit that's not flying? Without knowing the answer to that, I can't take it. Have I ever taken it, though, before? I am starting to think about just filling out things here. Okay, yeah, no, I've had that. Oh, with consume, does 30 damage to the front enemy unit. No, I'm gonna reroll here. At the end of battle, gain 3 Dragon Hoard if your pyre took no damage. No, not how I roll. After using an ability, friendly units gain 5. That's actually okay for just amping damage by exploding my own loaded whelps. And worthy sacrifice as well. Though on deployment phase, draw an equipment card from your deck, reduces cost to 0, allows me to add a pretty busted equipment card from the deck to the deck rather and benefit from that. I'll also take Spirit Breaker's charge. Given the guildmonger of it all, I suspect I'm not gonna need any additional help to get to 13 Dragon Sword. I don't need another frontline unit, especially not another one competing for the same cultivate triggers. I'm already going to draw enough cards each turn, so it's definitely going to be putting spells into a box here. If I put 3 copies of Restore in a box, then I play the box and I just get to play 3 Restores for a bunch of Cultivate triggers, rather. Well, both of them, to be fair. Putting units inside it. I guess if I put units inside it, I could put Animus of Will, Husk Hermit, and Thorned Hollow all on the same floor as the Sentient and Awoken Hollow. And then I just set up on the top. Most Scourge Givers have 5 or less health. They would already die to the relics that we have. So I would just set up on top, overstack that line. Keep casting spells on the bottom line. That actually sounds pretty good. So it's the largest units. Animus, Husk Hermit, and Thorned Hollow. 1, 2, 3. The box, 4. Awoken, 5. And the Sentient makes 6. I never get to use any abilities on that field, so I'm not really amping their damage that way. I think this might make me a lot slower. Putting the 3 spells in the box, I think, just helps me ramp a little more. Especially if I end up duping this box. Would I dupe the box? Do I want even more copies of Restore in the base deck? Not really. Oh god, this is really difficult. I'm gonna go with the units in the Jack-in-the-Box here. It doesn't summon them in that order, unfortunately. So a lot of our reliability is lost. Non-boss enemy in each wave, gains reanimate 1. Shouldn't really change too much here. Actually, if I am going to be playing these units out like this, I might as well put Guildmonger on the top line, because then I can get a +5 damage for... Oh, no, wait, I can't, obviously. Never mind. Guildmonger back on the bottom line! Boom. That one too. Yeah, we're going to be rejuvenating a lot of Jack-in-the-Box. Hey, Animus' Will is out. Nice. Guildmonger, thanks for dying, buddy. I gotta say, you are absolutely incredible at it. Bottom line is getting cleared, so I can afford to fill the second line now. Get some spikes on my front line. Oh, hell yeah. Get down there, Guildmonger. Show him what's up. Top line's already doing fine. Glad to see it. It's also worth noting, this is even better because they gain 2 Pyogel, 3 Pyogel rather, 2 from Flaming Talons, 1 increase from Hellfire Bellows, 2 times before they get to the top line. So by the time they come up here, they're taking 6 additional damage to every instance of damage they take, including when they hit my spikes and every enemy hitting them. Yeah, I think Calcified Ember should probably be my priority here. Yeah, I can do way better than that. Fanning the Flames could possibly do a huge amount of work on the bottom line. I play Guildmonger, I explode you, Bloated Whelp, and Bloated Whelp, I explode them. So now, Fanning the Flame, all you have to do is hit a single one of the axe throwers. Perfect. Triggered all of those slays. Then one more alchemy and some more sharpness for the top line. So I guess I will and grow off the top floor. Got through all of them at least. Nice. Restoration Detonation is back, so we're all good again. And now all I have to do is blow up Guildmonger one more time to get to the full 13 Dragon Sword, which means I'm going to get a boss relic at the end of this fight. I think I might end up running out of boss relics as well. I think you can exhaust that pool. I think you can only get 2 of each. Well, we'll have to see. Guildum Getmonger. Nice. Restoration, detonation, and then I'm going to see if... Oh, Fanning the Flame missed. That's unfortunate. Could have gotten another Slay trigger there. That'll do it, though. Sick. Reserve Thorns, Restoring Retreat, and Awake. Out of these, Awake is probably the only one that's really relevant in any way, and that's just because it has a regen number that's reasonably large on it. I'll take it. Stuck Up Welt has expensive tastes. Unfortunately, I would have to draw you in the first turn to really be able to use you at all. Applies Avarice 2 to friendly units, obviously a lot of money. Mind Cage, Resolve, reduces cooldown by 1. I have no cooldowns that I'm really using. And I don't want that to be the piece of equipment that gets drawn. Fanning the Flame, already got a copy of that. Select one of 3 major boss artifacts. Don't mind if I do. Medallion of Superiority also gives 3/3 per upgrade on the units, which... is fine. Multiply by Gel 3 on strike, sure. I'll be going for additional energy first. Pyre Remains is really appealing. Merchant of Arms as well, possibly trying to get a busted piece of equipment. Hell Furnace, when a unit gains Pyre Gel, it gains +3 stacks. There's also Swift Steel Dagger for quick. I'll be taking that. When a unit gains Pyre Gel, it gains 3 additional stacks. Throwing that on the bottom line means they take a lot more Pyre Gel on that bottom line. From... Wait, when they ascend, they gain Pyre Gel. So, does that mean on the second line is when the Pyre Gel actually hits? Either which way. Yeah, there's the Soul Smelter. The only thing about Soul Smelter is I 100% don't need it. That's its real downside, is I don't in any way, shape, and or form need it. Steward's Quarters. No. Throwing Zone of Silence on the bottom line would be nice. But I'm not going to deploy it in deployment phase. I save a lot of money here. I could also dupe a... I could dupe that Jack-in-a-Box. The only problem is I wouldn't have enough space for all of the units that it tries to summon on the top line. I could dupe Guildmonger. I 100% don't need another Guildmonger. Nor do I need another Awake. I think realistically what I want to dupe here is the Swift Steel Dagger. I think legitimately I just want another ability to make a unit quick. Those shrubs are going to be a bit of a nightmare. I'm going to set up on the middle line because of that. Hopefully I can silence the bottom line so I don't have to worry about the cherubs down there, and then by the time they get to the mid line I can just face them. I don't think Swift Steel Dagger goes out right now, though. Killed him. Yeah, because Malevolent Hunter will just die. I won't have to worry about it at all. Gotta make sure I leave space for Guildmonger. I'm not especially threatened by the Vengeful Shards anymore, especially because if I get additional boss relics, I'm also going to be getting 20 additional health from my pyre every single fight. So this is the floor where I think the Hell Furnace is actually applied. Or the pyre gel is actually applied, so that's where Hell Furnace goes. And then the bottom line is where I put my silence. Not being able to reliably summon the Animus of Will early, in fact it's my final unit coming out right now, is certainly hurting. That's not been great. Restoration Detonation's nice. Spell shield down. Realistically, this unit doesn't get to do that much damage to me. I'll have an opportunity next cycle to burn the Calcified Ember, so I don't have to worry about that too much. I'm going to give top line the ability to do additional damage so that the Chosen Sniper is not so scary later. Looks like Bahia is going to take some serious damage on that top line. That spell shield's certainly annoying. The fact that I haven't left myself any space for these whelps that I have 3 of on this turn as well, not great. Alas. We'll survive. That's me yet again. There goes Guildmonger. Quick is back up. I want to fan the flames on the bottom line. Missed. Getting a Sharp-Eyed Sniper there would have been 2 Slay triggers. And there goes that Calcified Ember. We're up to the 13 on Dragon's Hoard, so I get 2 boss relics at the end of this fight. Draw literally does nothing for me. At the end of this fight, is it this fight or the next fight? Very soon I will be drawing 10 cards a turn, so it's just going to be capacity. And then I'm going to have to take draw gems, despite the fact that I really, truly, for the first time in my life, have absolutely no use for them. Ooh. Chosen Sniper's actually getting past us. Granted, it will just die to the piercing damage soon after. Yeah, when it leaves this floor, it'll just die. Gotta play the Edition Alchemy, even if it's not relevant. Ooh, even managed to rejuvenate to the point that I don't have to worry about our sentient dying. Hell yeah. Oh. Oh, no, it's 3 of each, which means I won't be able to exhaust them. On your first turn, 2 additional energy. Sure. Dragons and Whelp gain +8 damage. When you equip a friendly unit, gain conjure with... sure. I've got equipment now. Yeah, here we go. 3x4 flames, and I can't take another flame. What? What? I didn't follow it. Huh? You're kidding me. So here's where I got the Guildmonger. And then I went right, left. That is the opposite of what you asked me to do, though. It was 0, 0, 1. Just left, right. And it's removed? Wait, does that mean you have to either do the same thing or do the opposite thing and either of them work? I'm very confused by this. Give many lives, reanimate 3. Now, I don't want to do that with the Guildmonger. Because Worthy Sacrifice has a cooldown of 2, so I get to use it every turn right now. Unless I wanted to summon multiple of you, but I know what I'm going to do with the other one. I'm going to take Reanimate on Jack-in-the-Box just in case it ends up dying to some dumb effect. Fecundity, however. Hilariously, I could put it on the Jack-in-the-Box and then just play it a bunch of times on every floor. Only problem is all of those units would die very quickly because they have no real defense. I'm going to put Fecundity on the Bloated Whelp there. I'm very intrigued to see what's going to happen as a result of this. I have suspicions. Merchant of Steel, Forgotten Boons, remove some cards from the deck. I mean, removing cards from the deck, obviously incredible, but Merchant of Arms, you can offer me equipment. On Revenge, Cultivate 4, or Rejuvenate Trigger. The Rejuvenate Trigger is not that relevant, the additional health is, though. A third quick steel dagger. Given the Zone of Silence we have for the bottom line, I really don't need Inferno Room. Yeah, Meat Shield sounds great to me. I have so much deployment ember, I can just take a Zone of Silence and pop it on the bottom line on the first turn. And should. Celestial Alchemy. Oh, wow. Upgrade a spell cost -4 on the Awoken Rail Spike. Does anything really want triple stack here? Triple stack for 15 spikes instead of 5. Not really that relevant. Yep. Yep. Real hard to argue. At this point, it is daft of me not to just be removing cards. I have so much money. I'm not going to have the opportunity to spend it all before the end of the run. There's going to be Rage Wing spawned on the bottom line, so as long as I set up on the second line, I'm fine. Zone of Silence is going to prevent the amalgams that hit the bottom line from actually being able to do anything to me. I don't think dropping Swift Steel Dagger on no one right now makes sense to me. I want to leave Guildmonger ready to die after I played the Awoken Rail Spike, so that if I draw into the Entropic Crystals, I still have the ability to get additional energy to play it out of my hand, because I do not want it to increase the cost of every spell in my deck. Actually seems like a bad idea. Hey, Fanning the Flame got another Slay, good to see. Hey, we didn't even get the Entropic Crystal. Now I'll pop Guildmonger. Play out the Entropic Crystal. Wait, no. You do that in the opposite way. Because Endless units are not like holdover cards. Endless units immediately go to the top of the deck. Holdover cards go to the top of the deck at the end of the turn. Which means that if I kill Guildmonger, it will be on top of the deck. So it will get drawn at 0 cost and I'll still be able to do everything that I just tried to do. Also, I want to kill as many imps as I can, or whelps as I can on this floor while I have the additional capacity to do it, because it just gives 5 health to the units. 5 damage, rather, to the units. Which then means I should play out all of the rest of these. Awoken Rail Spike. Guildmonger goes back on fields. And this is... Yes, okay. Okay, we're set up to test what I really wanted to test. Kill the Guildmonger. Kill that Loaded Whelp. Play out the Entropic Crystal and the Vengeful Shard. I'll unleash the Wildwood. Now, here we are. Loaded Whelp. Summon. Add a copy of this hand. Add a copy of this unit to your hand that costs +1. Its default cost is 0. If I play it, it adds a copy to my hand that costs 1. The copy to the hand gets reduced by 1 from Bowler's Tuning Fork. Because the Fecundity appears to take the current cost of the minion that you play and then add 1 to that, making it the new static cost, which then gets affected by additional things like Bowler's Tuning Fork in this instance, which means, yes, I can play infinite whelps. And also, every time they die, they add +5 damage to the entire floor. Which means that I can do this forever and kill anything I want on turn 1. Well, actually, it does rely on this specific version of the draw, to be fair. However, it will make it... I'm going to do it until these units on field have the ability by themselves to kill 2 500/500s. So I'm getting 45 additional damage to the field pretty much every cycle here. And I need to get to a total of 1,000. I'm currently, what, like 450? About halfway. Now all I need to do is find an additional way to benefit from these whelps dying. Like, the fact that I've got the Spirit Breaker's charge to benefit from it is really nice. Shell armor will also be really good, just giving 3 armor to all friendly units on the floor every time one of them dies. Some way to take advantage of the fact that a whelp in particular is dying would be nice as well. Is there something like whelps reduce cooldowns on the floor or something like that? But the thing is, no other units have cooldowns. Not exactly certain how I'll be utilizing this. Just around 700 damage on the board right now. Of course, this immediately gets screwed with when the Thorned Hollow is summoned, because then I no longer have the ability to play all of these units. Won't have the capacity for it. That said, I do get a capacity gem at the end of this fight, and probably at the end of the fight after it as well. Okay, we'll be just over about 1,000 now. But I kind of need one of you to do 500 damage by yourself in order to actually guarantee it, because otherwise it takes 2 of you striking in order to do 500 damage, which means the final one's just doing 350. So I'm afraid I will end up going to 1,500 on this floor. Is this my third? I think this is my third technical full infinite in MT2. This one doesn't require a Woken Rail Spike, to be clear. One of the others did. One of the others? 2 of the others, maybe? Alright. We're getting there, we're getting there. I only have to do this cycle, what? 5 more times? Y'all don't even know what's coming for you. You are not ready for this. You are ill-prepared. Alright. These will be the final ones we play. I should definitely leave 3 on the floor, because I get another unit summoned from Jack in the Box, so nothing's overstacked, and then I can just blow them all up in order to buff the unit that's coming out of the Jack in the Box. And also, why wouldn't I just fill all of the rest of the floors with them as well? When I can. Perfect. Good whelps. Guess I'll just get some additional rejuvenate triggers to come out. Restoration detonation doesn't really help me that much, to be honest, at this point. So holding it over is actually pretty bad. Okay. Hell Furnace. Bunker explodes on the bottom line. Meat Shield is just great for the Sentient, just to keep him beefy, keep him healthy. I probably should just get one of the Awoken Hollows that does 500 damage to attack at quick speed. It makes a lot of sense to do. Okay, yeah, the Hell Furnace is amplifying the Pyogel when they reach this floor. And then they're taking the Pyogel plus... It's plus 3 stacks. Interesting. Then they're taking the Pyogel plus the Jack Strips. So any unit with less than 9 health dies before it gets to the second floor, or rather dies on the second floor. Whoop. The Infinite Bloated Whelp is back. Oh, Fanning the Flame just needed to hit any of the other targets and would have collected a bunch of slays there. Granted, not that that's especially relevant. So I'm going to use this as a way to take down the Rage Wings, and then I'm just going to chump block with a single unit, and then all of these whelps get to attack the Avowed Gladiator. That's a lot of Pyogel. Alright, we're up to all the alchemy we'll need. I'd rather go overboard than underboard here. Welcome up, Athane. And also rest in peace. I could get an Engraft. It's exceptionally weak at this point, given that I have all of the draw and energy I could ever need, so it's just a cultivate trigger for a single card. Reduce cooldown by X, apply 2x Avarice. Superheater, consume to double the amount of Pyogel on a unit. I think there's a argument to be made that I could use that to stack a lot of Pyogel on Savagery. I think there's also a good argument to make that I don't need it at all. But hang on, I could just take one of these. I could just take and guild one of these. I'm gonna guild Superheated because it's rare. Hell yeah. After using an ability, friendly units gain armor 3. I don't really damage my own units, so Dragons and Whelps gain 8. Oh no. Oh no. I didn't have a choice. Trust me, I didn't have a choice. I would have taken something else. I didn't have a choice. Why didn't I have a choice though? Why didn't it give me an option to take a Firefall Borgelight? What's it gonna give me after the Seraph Eternus fight? I'm out of additional relics. That's gonna be interesting. Merchant of Steel, trinkets. I mean, God. There's some stuff we can get done, obviously. A merchant, like duping the Awoken Rail Spike obviously comes to mind. Very, very strong, powerful play. Getting another copy of this Bloated Whelp that triggers the infinite immediately on whatever floor it's played on makes our opening much more consistent as well if I want to do it that way. Merchant of Magic. I mean, realistically, I don't need these two alchemies in the deck, but they also get played out pretty quick, so I don't have to worry about them that much. There's not that many upgrades to my cards that are really relevant. Consume removal from Awoken Rail Spike. About it. +1 Ember per turn. -3 Deployment Ember. I have all of the Deployment Ember I could possibly ever need. First time you heal a unit, draw a card, great. Your Pyogel, Pyre applies Pyogel 2 to enemy units on all floors on Revenge. That's going to be a lot of Pyogel to enemy units. Ah, interesting. Three artifacts here that have absolutely no interest to me. Train Steward units, don't have those. Sting spells, don't have those. Apply Rooted to enemy units when they enter the room below the buy room. They don't get that high. That's huge. That actually is huge. And just because it's funny, I'm gonna give Avarice to the Infinite Bloated Whelp so I could infinitely farm money if I wanted as well. I know, the game is literally over. There's no chance to utilize that in any reasonable fashion that's helpful to anyone in any way. I do have it though, and that's fun. I do still want a single copy of Sharpen in the deck. A lot of these cards are still really good. I'll remove Engraft because you're probably the least useful at this point. Banning the Flame is really inconsistent and I didn't really get to focus on it in the way that I would like. And then if I'm duping anything, it's got to be the Awoken Rail Spike, right? The only other option is the Bloated Whelp, but this is basically both. I'll re-roll here. Oh. Titan 9 is Smidgestone. No one can even be affected by that Smidgestone. Titan 9 for the Huskin, the Jack in the Box. Why not? Alright, Seraph Eternus, this is gonna be funny. there's the infinite whelp on turn 1, so we'll be doing that, of course. I'm only going to do it until I have... do I do it until I have the 500s? It's giving so much armor as well now. It's actually pretty invaluable. If I had a way of also providing Pyogel while I do this, I could be killing Seraph Eternus on turn 1. I don't think I have the patience to just sit here and play Bloated Whelps until Seraph is dead, though. That sounds a bit too much for even me. I mean, there's superheated, which is nice. It's just unfortunately a little early, so I can't apply Pyogel yet. I can only apply Pyogel at the very end of this turn when these Bloated Whelps get to attack. I was trying to target someone else with that Whelp sacrifice ability. There is what that looks like that was. Oh! Okay, one works. Great. I forgot that the keyboard shortcuts that I familiarized myself with in SDS actually work here. Or I might not have even known. But that's going to make this a lot easier. No dragging between the hand and board. It's so possible to kill Seraph on turn 1 here. I just don't want to do it. Do I not want to do it, or do I want to, like, pause and just bring you back when I'm finished? Because it's going to be like 10 minutes of clicking a thing. Oh! No, I can't do it. I literally can't do it. Dragon's Hoard. I need to get up to the 13 so I can see what I do with all of the... or what it gives me for an additional boss relic. Because it seems like maybe you can only get one of each boss relic from Dragon's Hoard. But if that's the case, I've already gotten each of them. What else do I get offered? We're getting closer to the 500 damage thresholds. Also, this is farming infinite money as well, just very, very slowly. The infinite armor is really useful. Especially because this Chosen Assassin will make it to the next line without dying. Oh, just imagine if these abilities were still considered strikes. I think there was a very short period of time where abilities that dealt damage to enemies were considered a strike from the unit that triggered the ability. That would be doing a bunch of Pyogel right now. I would easily be able to kill on turn 1. Because it'd be scaling up. Okay, we're almost there. This will be really... or rather, this will make the rest of the fight very, very simple, thankfully. All I gotta do is get Guildmonger on the board a bunch of times. And these are the last three that I'll play. Then I'll develop Alchemy and throw the Blood Well wherever I can. I just like having them cheerlead on the top line. Although, also, I will note that they will be really good for playing Pyogel to Seraphiternus when Seraphiternus goes up to that line. Hell yeah. Thorned Hollow spawned, so I no longer get to use the midline anymore. Knew that was likely to happen. I'm going to give the bots a quick dagger, just so they both attack very quickly. And take out the enemies first. 7th floor limit needs me to pop one of my units. Nice. Actually, 48 Pyogel's pretty dangerous here. Yeah, it makes the Seraphiternus very vulnerable. I need you to live long enough for me to abuse this run. Guildmonger play it again, and then I can play it one last time this turn with the Awoken Rail Spike. Nice. All the Vengeful Shards are zero costed, love to see that. Although I will say, leaving them and letting the Pyre get hit so that I do a bunch of Pyogel to enemies is valid. I only have one more thing I need to do next turn. Hell yes. That is one more Dragon Hoard that I need to get before I can finish this fight. And that does it. Guildmonger does it. Also, I can double the Pyogel on the boss. And you know what? It is 100% time to let the Endless Train kill them. It's 107 damage each time one of these whelps dies. Fine. I'll just keep exploding the wall. And then fill the entire floor and do it again. So, Dominion's definitely going to be the harshest Titan for us to face, but allowing them to hit me in the Pyre directly and just not caring because I have so much Pyre health is going to be really powerful. It'll give so much Pyogel to all of the Titans, And then we will basically just blow a stiff breeze in their direction and watch them climb 6 feet into their own graves. Get him well. Select one of 3 major boss artifacts. What's that going to do? When you damage your own unit, reduce cooldown by 1. We're now out of minor Fireborn artifacts. Ah, it skips it? I ran out of minor Fireborn artifacts and additional boss relics to get. It just skips them. Damn it. I wanted those. I wanted to see if it had, you know, some fallback of like, oh, you tried to generate a relic, but there's no more left here? Have this instead. I wanted to see if we could breakfast this game. Oh, hang on. Guildmonger goes on the second line. Gotta remember that. The fight's not gonna be long enough to worry about chump blocking. Okay, we've got the Awoken Rail Spike, so we might still get the Infinite on turn 1. Something very slightly relevant to our front. Yeah. Alright, Awoken Rail Spike, draw 8 for me. Oh, you didn't get me the Endless Well. Damn. As long as we don't get Thorned Hollow next turn on this midline, we will still be okay with this. I'll wait to blow up that Guildmonger until next turn. Oh, I should have been leaving the Vengeful Shards in hand. I forgot about that. That was my whole plan. Okay. We actually got the best unit first, the Animus. Glad to see it. I think I'm going to try and force the draw deep enough into the deck to almost guarantee that we get the Bloated Welt with infinite status. In order to draw a full hand, I will play the Curse of Entropy there. And we drew it. Unfortunately, we drew it with only 1 space to play it, which is a really annoying way to infinite. So I'm not gonna treat it as an infinite this turn. Though it 100% would be. I will, however, use it to amp damage pretty significantly. Because it's still an incredible damage spell to be playing. I'd be happy to get this just to the point that it kills Savagery, because at that point, I know I can also kill Entropy next time Savagery comes around. And this fight's definitely going long enough for Savagery to come back around, simply because Dominion on top line's not going to die quickly enough. This is especially good because instead of getting 15 damage on the floor, we're getting 7 and then 4 hits from the Animus. Wait, 7 and then 4 hits from the Animus? We're getting 3 and then 4 hits from the Animus, 7 total. 7 by 5, 35. So yeah, even more than double damage is being added to this floor per whelp versus previously. Actually, could I trample damage through to the Entropy this turn? I think I can. Oh, this is wild. It's showing less and less damage against Entropy constantly here. Oh, no, now it's ramping. Okay. Fine. I'm gonna let this ramp to the point that it kills Entropy as well. Taking down 2 of the Titans on turn 1, and then it's just leave these Vengeful Shards in hand in order to increase the Pyogel on Dominion. And I guess cast whatever spells I can up there. I don't have too many spells in my deck that I can really cast up there, though. Halfway on Entropy now. Great. Also, me having empty floors so that Savagery deals damage directly to my Pyre, causing Pyogel in response, is a good damage strat for me at the moment. I don't need to change anything about that. And I've got to be like 5 imps away from blowing Entropy up here, right? Maybe closer to 10 or 15. But that is 6 health remaining, and it's dead. Perfect. I played a Vengeful Shard. Can't believe it. Immediately I forgot that my whole plan was not playing those. Guildamong on my way back to 13 Dragon Hoard again. This might be near the most Dragon Hoard I've ever gotten. It was 4 in the first battle, 4 in the second battle, and then 8, 8. Then it was 8, 10, 13, 13, 13, 13, 13. Let's double the Pyogel on you. 27 more. Hit him with a Pyolite. I guess I can throw Explosive at you. It's not really gonna do too much, unfortunately. Alright. End of next turn. Everyone's dead. I can afford to play all those out now. Oh man, this whelp. This absolute whelp. Fill the bottom floor with him as well. I gotta let him cheerlead me to the victory that he had. Like, I don't want to say single-handedly carried me to, but certainly had the largest impact in. A lot of damage on Ascension. A lot of damage on Awoken Hollow. Guildmonger did incredible work over the course of the run as well. That Jack in the Box allowing us to overstack that floor really took this to 11. And that's a classic Pyreborn win. Awoken were also there. Superheated. The only card that gets its gilding here. Oh, my Herschel Cup streak just increased. That's 5th C10 win in a row. I think that does count only Seraph, not Titan wins as well. To be clear, though. Quick look at the run summary. 11 Vengeful Shards in the deck, but the boy. This was also here. I can't put that in another thumbnail, though. It was all Guildmonger, bloated whelp, farming out every single one of... Oh, hang on, they're called different things. Pyreforged Flame is the version you get from... Pyreforged Flame, Spike, and Light are the versions that you get from the Hidden Hoard. Hells are the original versions of them. Actually, it also gives more damage to the Pyre, 55 versus the 40 from the original Heaven's Flame. Hell's Flame, rather. Let's leap back to the outpost and say that my name's been Rhapsody, the name of the game. It's been Monster Train 2. That was one hell of a run. Top left is a series playlist for all my content on the Game Pass, present and future YouTube recommendations, and down below, streaming past and the names of the people so generously supporting the Republic on patreon.com/RhapsodyPlays. Out above the thank tier, and a special thanks this episode to Matthew. Hopefully you'll have been enjoying yourselves, and hopefully we see you all next time.